Is it possible to beat Pokemon Sword with every single move being randomized? Over 2 videos, my goal is to get that question answered with a yes. So late last year, I attempted to beat Pokemon Sword only using Sobble, and well, it literally became my most viewed video in just 2 months. Please let that happen again, but with this video. Anyway, I think it's time to see if this new challenge is possible. So you might be wondering how this will work. Well, built into the game is a move known as Metronome, which picks one of almost any single move a Pokemon can learn and use it. 100% luck based on what move you'll get. For the entire game, I will only be allowed to use this move, with an exception at the start of the game, which I'll explain soon. But no Dynamaxing either, as Metronome can't be used in Dynamax form. Those are pretty much the only rules. So I said there was an exception at the start of the game a second ago, and that's because of a problem. Metronome is a move only a select amount of Pokemon can learn, and the starter Pokemon are not one of them. The Pokemon we will be teaching Metronome to will be Snorlax, because 1, he has a really good defense stat, and we will 100% need that, because we'll be tanking a lot of hits due to the chances of getting moves that do random stat boosts, stat nerfs, or terrain changes. I don't know the numbers, but it seems to be around a 50-50 chance of actually getting a move that does damage to the opponent, so tanking hits will be necessary. And 2, Snorlax is epic. So before starting our new game, I went onto my main account and bred for a new Snorlax. We hatched it and named him Heckin' Chonker. We then would teach him Metronome, erase all his other moves, and put him into Pokemon Home until we were ready. It was now time to start up a new save. This was it. The beginning of what is going to be a lengthy and painful challenge. Starting off the game, we picked our character and decided to name ourselves Beachugger. First thing we do is notice a Wooloo cracking its skull open on a fence, and then take Leon away from his fans because he gets way more attention than he deserves, so he can give us one of the starter Pokemon. Obviously, I picked Sobble like any other sane person would, and Hop showed his first signs of brain damage by picking the weaker type starter to mine. We then celebrate by eating kebabs, which I can only assume is made from the flesh of dead Pokemon, and wake up the next morning to start the first of many, many Hop battles. Now, due to only having Sobble, this is where the exception comes into play. We don't have Metronome, so the only way of randomizing moves is just to spam the stick up and down and without looking hit A, hoping I choose Pound. Trust me, I didn't cheat. There really isn't any reason to cheat in this battle. I mean, you're versing Hop, and it's the first battle. Before heading into the Slumbering World because of Wooloo escaping, I wanted to see if I can bring the Snorlax in yet, but it turns out I couldn't until I received the Pokedex. Walking into Slumbering World, we could start to listen to one of the best video game songs ever, made from the cries of the legendary dogs. Speaking of them, we encounter Zacian, which leads to a pointless battle where we black out, finally resulting in Leon having to save us, with his Charizard consuming the Wooloo who caused all the trouble. We then go to the lab where we meet Sonia for the first time and also receive the Pokedex from her. It was time to bring in our Snorlax. Before using him, I had to go get a few levels onto him through Sobble, meaning I just had to keep using the spam up and down on the stick randomizer method for a bit, but after getting him to level 5, we finally tried out Metronome, in which we can see Snorlax use heaps of attacks and display many animations he wouldn't be able to do normally. Like I said before, the hard part was actually getting hits on the opponents, as the stat and terrain changing moves are extremely common, but the best parts are when I get certain Pokemon exclusive moves, like Zekrum's Bolt Strike, and Decidueye's Spirit Shackle. A lot of lengthy training went on in which the weather kept on changing, and there was even a time where Snorlax used Substitute. That was a painful battle, all for a little bit of experience. There was one really annoying problem though. I had to transfer Snorlax back to my main account so I can use a PP Max on him to increase the limit from 10 uses to 16 uses without needing to restock at a Poké Center. I also thought that temporarily bringing over my shiny Indeedee,
flex intended,
would help me settle into the challenge, so I taught her Metronome too and headed back to the other game, where training became a little easier due to having an extra amount of attacks before needing to replenish it. After learning about Dynamaxing from the old woman, which is totally useless information for us, Hop is ready to annoy me again with another battle, but at least this time I can prove how bad he is due to me winning with a randomizer as my source of damage. It was then time to tell our parents that we are leaving forever and embark on our journey, starting off in the wild area, which, like in the Sobble video, will be my main source of gaining experience from raids. After a few raids, I then headed into Motorstoke where we could sign up for the gym challenge. It was then time for the most important part of the run, picking our player number, obviously. It was between 666, 420 or 69. We chose 666
Because we are evil and can rule the entire Pokemon universe with a randomizer.
Then comes our first encounter with the worst team Pokemon has ever created, Team Yell. You know, in the past, we've had a whole evil organization that steals Pokemon known as Team Rocket. We've had teams that have underwater and volcano bases, Team Aqua and Magma. We've had many other teams with just cool names like Team Galactic, Plasma, Flare. Then there were the thugs of the Alola Island, Team Skull, which is my favorite team. And then comes...
Team Yell. We shout at people.
Just why? Anyway, taking them out wasn't very difficult. As of now, we were level 15, which was a good stable level at that point. Then comes the opening ceremony of the gym challenge, where we get to take a look at the gym leaders making their grand entrance, excluding Pierce, because I assume he couldn't care less about showing up. I don't know. And wouldn't you know it, Hop wants to battle me again. If only he'd learned no matter how much the odds are against me, I will still demolish him. Then after a little bit more of training, we entered into the Galar Mines, where we have our first face-to-face encounter with my boy, with his golden Rolex, Bede. Yes, you heard me right. Boy. Your ears are not deceiving you. Bede is a dude. No, I'm not trying to trick you. Bede is a guy. This is directly targeted at the multiple people who tried to correct me by saying I was wrong for calling him a guy. I don't blame you. I thought he was too at first. But maybe fact-checking your corrections next time would be a good idea. You absolute trash. Where we get to hear one of Pokemon's best rival themes ever. It turns out I actually lost to him once due to me getting heaps of moves that wasn't dealing any damage, but then the second time I managed to win without needing any extra training. And then finally, after flying through a bit more story-based dialogue, it was finally time to take on the first of 8 gyms. My Snorlax actually went down on the first roadblock trainer, and we only just managed to get out alive from Indeedee, so that just showed I wasn't really prepared yet. However, I decided to see how the gym battle would go anyway, up against the first leader, Milo. So I actually managed to get through the Gossifleur, but then I died to the Dynamax Eldegoss. I gave myself one more attempt to see if I didn't need any extra training, and I managed to luck out with moves like Heat Wave and reviving Snorlax when Indeedee was in play. And with that, we beat Milo and earned ourselves the first of 8 badges, the Grass Badge. Next thing that happened is we encountered another bunch of Team Yell Grunts who actually put up a massive roadblock to the challenge. Their Sableye knows Disable, meaning that after I use Metronome, I can no longer use it again. My first idea was just to swap to Indeedee, but obviously that didn't stop him from using it again. Luckily, I had a new plan. Now that the daycare was open, it was time for a fresh batch of Snorlax. I moved a Ditto from my main account onto the challenge one to breed Heck and Jonker to give me a new load of Snorlax, whom I can also overlevel due to them being in Beechoger's name and not under my main account. And believe me, overleveling is 100% required. Just wait to the end of this video. We got 5 eggs for 5 new Snorlax. Don't ask me why I didn't do 6. Okay, past me. Don't know why. Okay. Anyway, say hello to my new army. We've got Heck and Jonker, the sequel, Thick Lad, Big, Zarons, which is Snorlax backwards. And I couldn't be bothered thinking of another name. You'll be the forgotten one. These 5 new Pokemon will now be replacing the ones we've been using before. I actually had to bring them to my main game first so I can teach them all Metronome and to PP max them all. And after that, I also had to spend a big amount of time using the original Heck and Chonker to get a good stash of EXP candy from raids so I can get some levels onto them. Finally, back to the Team Yell fight. We now have enough Metronomed Pokemon to take out that Sableye before he disabled everyone, leading us to victory, which allowed us to claim a bike from a random old dude on a bridge. We are making some good progress. No! Once Hop was done, I grinded even more candy to prepare myself for the next gym. Once that was done, we met up with Nessa and made our way to the gym pretty quickly, where our challenge is to show them that we are capable of turning on and off taps. What a challenge. During one of the smaller battles, we also managed to give Krabby a taste of his own medicine. And then we were up against Nessa. Luckily, due to my new team of powerful Snorlax and the power of RNG, we managed to beat her on our first attempt, earning us the second gym badge. Rose then invites us to some seafood for dinner, where we get to eat up that Krabby I killed earlier. Next up came our second battle with Bede, where we can listen to his epic bop again. This battle wasn't too difficult compared to the last one with him. Then came another horde of Team Yell Grunts, which we demolish. Then the final battle before the next gym was our first one against Marnie. During this battle, we got to see Snorlax use another one of Zekrum's moves, but this time it was Fusion Bolt. All epicness aside, Marnie's Scraggy was actually really difficult to face. It kept using the low kick, which is super effective against me, which caused me to lose, but the second time luck was on my side, and it was time to face the next gym. Nothing much happened during the lead up, so let's get straight to the gym battle with Kabu. Oh yeah, nothing really happened in this battle too. I don't really have any type disadvantages here. Big and Heck and Chonka were over leveled and RNG was on our side, earning us the 3rd gym badge. Believe me, the 4th gym battle is actually really hard, so keep watching. Leaving to head to Hammerlock, the 3 leaders we had beaten already congratulated us, which was more intimidating than anything as it was a reminder we still have 5 more gyms to go, and I wouldn't say it's been too hard at this point, it's just been very lengthy. Bede also challenges Hop to a battle in which Hop loses and starts his downward spiral, leading to his depression. On the way to Hammerlock, we also meet another fellow Snorlax, who could only dream of being in a team as good as mine. This was also a good time to grind for more candy. On the way to the next gym, we managed to encounter a trainer who seemed to try the exact same challenge as me, as she has both a Clefairy and a Clefable who only use Metronome. It was the ultimate randomized battle. I actually managed to use a Reshiram move this time, Blue Flare. And not long after that, Clefable demonstrated what Dragon Darts would look like without a Dragapult shooting Dreepy, which I thought was pretty interesting. But now, it was time for what was going to be a very difficult gym battle. That's if Hop didn't want to battle me again to try and get over his depression. But anyway, it was time to head into the fighting gym. Now the minigame is fun, yes, but getting almost defeated by the basic trainers showed how unprepared I was. And that was with the 5 Snorlax. After every battle I did with them, I would have to go and take a quick trip to the Poké Center before the next one. I managed to get through all of them without losing. However, seeing how close I came to some of them made me unsure of how the actual gym battle would go, but I tried it out anyway. So we made our way through the pinball machine and got ready to face my favorite gym leader of the Galar region, Bee. Turns out that's how you actually pronounce her name. In the Sobble video I called her Bayer. It's Bee. But anyway, it was time to face what will most likely be one of the hardest challenges in this run. Instantly, I was getting destroyed by Hitmontop's Revenge, dealing so much damage despite both my high level and defense stats. I didn't even get him down to half HP before Big, who was a level 59, fainted. I still had Heck and Chonka, who was level 51, but if I wanted to pass, I needed both of them alive as much as possible, so I restarted the game. Round 2 was no better either, as I just wasn't managing to get moves that would deal enough damage. At that time I managed to get to Surf Edge, but also got knocked out by Revenge again. Of course they both know it. However, instead of trying to train to stupidly high levels, I decided to buy a whole bunch of revives and healing potions after finding out that her Pangoro would use a move that swaps out my Pokemon. Every time a weak Snorlax was sent out, I could heal or revive the tough ones. This method got me up to her Gigantamax Machamp, which I actually got lucky on, and didn't even need to stall for it to go to normal size to kill it. It was finally done. I beat Bee and earned myself the fighting badge. And there we have it. There is part 1 of Can You Beat Pokemon Sword only using random moves. So far it's almost taken me 9 hours, but I think we can do it. I'll try to get the next video out in 2 or 3 weeks, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. Oh yeah, we do our final Bede battle, which wasn't really a problem, in which after we kill him, Rose kicks him from the gym trail because he tried to break historical rocks. So just keep that in mind for next time when I don't do that battle, because I've already done it. But yes, thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for more content like this. Let me know what your thoughts on this series is. Will it be possible? What other roadblocks will we face? Thank you all so much for watching.